Hello, everyone. How are you doing, guys? Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Where you watch us, and how are you doing, Max?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm in flavor. I'm drinking my coffee, like, because we are in a coffee with Java session, our 20 session. so
I
oh
am with my water. It's a water. It's a totally to me.
oh okay. Well, for today it's a good one. Well, it's very health. It's very healthy to drink water. I also have my water.
If I drink coffee now, I don't sleep the night.
Really?
Yes, and like
Oh, I
I
don't. I
turn
don't
on
solve.
mode, and I always sleep 6 a.m. and I need to wake up 8 a.m. to work. And it's impossible. I'm working very destroyer.
Oh, well, I don't face this problem. I could drink 1 liter of coffee that I don't have problem to sleep. I got I'm a good man to get sleep. So it's a good one.
Oh,
Well,
Max.
my wife said that I do a lot of sounds during the night, but that's okay. So let's stop to talk about those silly things.
I
Let's talk
jealous
about
you,
what
Max. Really?
what. Okay, sorry.
I jealous you because you have this how can I say protection about coffee.
No, but I think that the reason why I don't suffer this kind of problem is that I drink a lot of coffee during the day, so maybe this substance doesn't affect me. But of course, everything that you do a lot could be a problem as well. So I need to control it. I need to keep that thing in control, not out of control. But that's all right. So, hello everyone on the chat. So, feel free to send us wherever you are. Where are you from? Oh, it's very important to understand how many people we are reach out. So it will be amazing. And today we got an idea for our session today.
Yes.
In our last session, we got we got some questions on the chat. Am I right, Gabriel? Ask.
Yes, we have a lot of questions about how we start in the project open source, and a conversation with Max, and we think about making a new session to recap about how we start in the project JNoSQL more specific. I remember I say names here, and I think it's a Bruno and Thiago. If you're in here this session, write to us because we show for audience today how we start in the contribution and step by step, like enter the project, how figure out and things, create your account in Eka. We share the links here with them, and this is very very cool. And if you want to start the contribution, the project open source, this session is very very amazing. You can share with your friends. They have a desire. Start the contributions in project open source. Am I right, Max?
Yes, you're right. Yeah. Let's recap how to get started to contribute to open source. More to be more specific, like you said about Eclipse JNoSQL. So Eclipse JNoSQL is a specific implementation for
Sorry,
two
I forgot to say this.
Jakarta specifications. So the Eclipse JNoSQL implements Jakarta NoSQL and also Jakarta data because both implementations also offer a kind of repository a specific one. It's pretty similar to Spring's data. So you could create an interface using carried by name. So you could create methods using specific keywords in order to define the queries that will be executed against the database. So it's very interesting one. And also we get start from the beginning. I think the first thing that we need to get start is understand why we should contribute to open source. I think this is the most important thing that we need to clarify in our mind. Oh, see on the
Oh,
chat, Daika developer
hello,
is there.
Daikin.
Hi. See, it's nice to see you here too. So, the first question, I will do this question to you, Gabriel, and and feel free to answer me by your own. It's your own
Yes.
question, so feel free to answer that. But for you, Gabriel, why it's important to contribute to open source?
Oh, it's a great question, Max. Like I say in Portuguese, in my opinion, the important to contribute in the project JNoSQL, or in projects open source, sorry, it's a great network. Like if I working in the project open source, I work with big names in the market. One example, we say here many times Otávio, Elias, Nogueira, entre another names. And I think this great network with these persons is very amazing to professional. And then, in my opinion, and have another point in creating the this networking. And another point is how can I say you have improved your knowledge, technical knowledges, because you don't see how can I say the point of our iceberg. You see more deep in things. One example, we was work in the JNoSQL project, we see NTL. Do you remember? Like in the communication, the database with Java. Like one thing is very deep in. And if you're working normally your company, you don't see this.
Okay, so it's interesting. It's interesting to understand. So, and you guys on the chat, so feel free to send us why you think that it's important to get started to contribute to open source. So I will give my opinion. Okay.
Go ahead,
So
Max.
no, that's okay. You did a great job. Where also also, folks, we are doing these sessions in English because we want to practice English, and this is a good opportunity to us to create English content. Also, it's very important if you want to reach out more people around the world, because we know that English is a international. It's a great language that you could talk to many people around the world. So and I agree. I totally agree with you, Gabriel. Oh, exactly. Oh, look at the message of the Deacon. Deacon is saying something. Let me see. Okay, exactly. Network and deep understanding of any subject. Yes, yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, because if you we think about technical about skills, am I right? Because when we are when we want to improve your career, improve your skills, you need to practice. Okay, you need to put our practice on work. We need to create content. We need to create code. You need to put our fingers to work. And sometimes, if you do that thing alone, I'm not saying that you don't learn anything. I'm just saying that you lost the opportunity to learn from another people. And when we are work with another people, you will learn faster than you do that thing alone. And you can understand better how to why the code is a little different than another one. So this difference gives you insights to understand better how to do something. And why not to understand, to learn, watching code create for the best engineers, software engineers around the world. Why not to do that? So open source give us an opportunity to realize, to see the codes wrote by many software developers. As I said, I mean, Otávio Santana is the biggest committer of the JVM. Is a Brazilian one, so it's very interesting to see how he codes, because you understand better the patterns, the best approaches, and so on, and it will give you experience. And you I'm not saying experience, I'm saying it will give you opportunity to understand more about that thing. And with that, we could learn much more and put those things in practice in your work, in your side projects, and so on. And also, in order to do that, you need to communicate. So you need to improve your communication skills. It's about network. It's about people. So when you are getting started to contribute with open source, you get start to be how can I say, important in your community. The community, you get start to talking to look into you and say, oh, Max is became an authority in this subject, because he gets start to contribute, he gets start to write those things, he gets start to share knowledge about that. And the most people around the world, around you, are in your community, will look at you and say, oh, look, this one knows how to work with this kind of technology. He knows how to work with solid principles. He knows how to work with design patterns and so on. So it's very important, because when we are doing some interview, for example, uh, it will help you. Remember, maybe the interviewers, you take a look in your code. Oh, let's see how this guy works on a GitHub. So you could create your portfolio. I think it's a very important one. So why not to contribute? I think it's a good opportunity to do that. And that's the thing.
Yes.
That's the reason why we are doing that thing, because we think that how many people, how much people contribute with open source, many people will get started to learn and share knowledge. And knowledge is something that, if you will share, it grows. It's very interesting. Am I right? When we share, we grows, we learn more, much more. So that's the reason why I think it's very important. And it's a good it's a good one. Let's think about, because if you want to contribute with open source, the first thing that will comes our mind is, oh, open source project requires code skills. Oh, so I must know to programming, I must know to code. And oh, maybe I'm not prepared to do that. Most of the people get start to think like that. And I'd like to say that it's not true. Actually, you could get started from the scratch. You can get started from in an easiest way, instead of to, oh, I want to contribute with code. as Albert Belmiro said in our previous sessions, if you take a look in our previous sessions, especially in the Albert session participation, he said that he get started from the hard way. So he was able to understand the issue and so on and work on that. But most of the time, it's very hard to get started, especially when the project is so big. It's very hard to understand how those things work. So why we how can we contribute? So we can do many actions to do that. So I think that I will ask Gabriel. I think Gabriel knows a little bit about that. I want to listen Gabriel about that. So Gabriel, what kind of options we we have to get started to contribute to open source?
Oh, we have many options.
Really? Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. The first option, you enter in the Soul Java community. I will get the link and share here with the audience. Wait, the first option you enter in the Soul Java community in Discord. The first point, because we have a channel specific to a project upper source, and we conversation only about the project open source, and this is a great opportunity to entry in the one project. And the second, um, channel to enter to start in the project open source, if me and Max and this live, and today we show for you and the how starting the project open source and the whole entering in this world. And then having more one, in my opinion, it's a LinkedIn. If you enter in the, oh, not only LinkedIn, Twitter, both social medias. In the LinkedIn having groups, and in these groups you can find the project open source. And no, and the Twitter, you can follow the persons in the this world. How can I say? It's participate in this universe open source, and you can see one time like the person writing about this project open source. And in my opinion, I have four channels with Twitter. So Java channel, and here these sessions, Twitter and LinkedIn. And
Okay, so those social medias are a way to apply those things. Okay, so got it. So I understand, and let's think a little bit about what we can do in order to get a start to contribute. So, well, contribution from, okay, great. Let's see what they can are saying. Oh, open
open.
source is a great. Oh, do you want to
Go
learn
ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
to
My
read?
English
Oh,
today, I have confusion every time in English with
no,
Portuguese.
that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. So, Deacon says, open sources is a great opportunity to see how to best developers out there are solving problems and see how they develop that solution. Yeah, yeah, great answer. Thanks for contribute. You are contributing right now. You're
Yes,
saying your opinion and contribute your experience, your knowledge. So you are doing that thing. So yeah, when we want to contribute with open source, we first thing that we after to think about code, we we also get started to think, oh, which kind of project I need to pick up to get started to contribute. So it's another question. So in my opinion, for me, I learned that I could get started from the open source project that I used to use in my work. For example, if I'm using Spring, why not to take a look on the Spring open source project and understand how those things work. Oh, I work with Quarkus and other open source projects. Take a look on this project. Oh, I work with React. React also is open source. Is our JavaScript, TypeScript, JavaScript
It's
language,
another
but
open source.
also it doesn't matter. They are open source as well. So we could also get our favorite open source project and work around that. So sometimes when we are talking about the project, we are contributing as well, because when we are talking about React, the people that are interested to React, we trying to look into the project. It's very similar that we are doing right here. We are talking, you used to talking about JNoSQL project. So probably most of the people that are watching us, a little, sometimes take a look on the project in order to see how those things work. So why not to get started talking about the open source? It will help to the project here as well, because the first thing that the open source needs to create is the awareness around itself. So it's very interesting to get started. And you can get started to create talks. For example, you learn a little something about some open source project. Why not to share it? So you could write articles, you could write record videos, you could share in your community, you could share in your company as well. Why not?
Yes.
Share in your community, so you could get started from there. It's you're contributing as well. So look, we do not nothing by right now for on a code, for example. Okay, so I think it's a good way to get started. So understand how the project goes, but most of us will get started. We are developers, want to contribute with code, and we need to get started from the beginning. So I think that we could get started from the documentation. Documentation is the best way to get started to contribute, because
Yes.
most of developers don't want to work with documentation, and the documentation is the most important piece of the open source project, because without documentation, how the developers will work with the open source projects? But instead,
Yes,
oh,
this is
why
true.
how can we work with that? I need
Yes.
to look at the code. I need to look at the thing how to. It's a, it's very hard to do that. I'm not saying that it's possible, but it's so hard. So why not to get started from documentation? So when you find out the documentation, a project, open source project, why not you take a look on the documentation, and maybe you will see some typos or some mistakes on the documentation or something like that. You could get started from there. Open a PR, check out the project, change fix those things, and open PR. So it's a good opportunity to get started open session. All right, Gabriel, because
Yes, yes,
it,
you're
it,
totally right.
it
And
doesn't it doesn't affect the execution of the project, because that it's a documentation, but it influences how to use the open source project. That's very interesting, and the most of developers don't want to work on that. And do you know how the gap that we could work on there? So looks like there is a history that Elder Moraes said to me one time ago, that once a time ago, one developer got started to contribute in an open source project by documentation, and suddenly he was wrote most than 80% of documentation, this guy. And once the company that works with this open source project realized, oh, we need to hire someone that understand this project that we are working right now. And who do you think the company goes to approach about? This is guy that used to contribute with documentation. He knows more than another than any of the committers about the project because he works on the documentation. So why not to contribute by documentation? So we cannot underestimate documentation. Okay, so this is a good tip that I used to say to the people on the audience about that. Okay, so and
Okay.
after that, documentation is a good one, but we want to work on the code. We want to contribute with code, but think if you understand the documentation, you could take more clarification about how the project works. Am I right? And with
Yes.
this kind of thing in your mind, master it in your mind, probably you will be able to navigate on the code to understand how those things work, and probably you can see something right here and that you can work. Another thing that we used to do is to work in a issue in the bugs and something like that. Am I right, Gabriel? It's a good
Yes,
one
you're
as
right.
well. Probably you already have faced some bug issues in your project, and you should how can I say um, you should take a look in a deep way in your code and understand what's happening for the project to be broken, and probably you find out some issue in the project, in the open source project, and why not to fix that and also to contribute to the project as well. And it's another way you get start to contribute because you understand how those things work. Okay, this is point is the failure this failure is here, so let's work on this piece of code and open the PR and so on. But okay, once you understand how the code works, how to get started to contribute, we also need to pay attention to the contribution guide because each open source have his own contribution guide. Okay, because open source is a little is focused on the engineering perspective of the project. Am I right? So
Yes.
there is a governance around the project. That's the reason why committers used to pay attention to the directions that the open source the project is going to. So they need to keep the quality in the code, how to write tests, how to write the code. So that's the reason why I think we could get started from there. Am I right, Gabriel?
Yes, you're totally right, Max.
So and it depends of each project has its own guide. So we can get started from the JNoSQL, Eclipse JNoSQL, and we could realize how can we get started to contribute on the JNoSQL project. And use this knowledge, you could also adapt this way to work in another open source project. I think you could do as well. Okay.
Yes.
So let's go and share our screen and get started to see some codes. Okay, got it.
Oh, and Max, I see here, and we have now 22 contributors in this project.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Okay. So
and
so
my
let's
name
see.
shows
Yeah.
in the
So
contributors.
oh good. Oh hello. Looks like we got a new friend in the chat.
Hello, Kevin.
Good
Good night.
evening.
Good evening. Sorry.
We
Good
need
evening.
because good night. We are saying bye bye, but good evening. Hello, and feel welcome because and feel free to send questions to us. Okay, it's amazing. So let's go to GitHub because GitHub is a good social media for developers. I think GitHub is a good open source, is a good social media for developers. So I will open my GitHub account. So you could, if you are here, I believe that you already have a GitHub account. So if you don't have, please create a one if you want to get started to contribute with open source, because most of the open source projects are in uh, GitHub portal. Okay, so um, right here we could also describe about us and so on, but let's go to Eclipse and JNoSQL project. Okay, JNoSQL project is a implementation for Jakarta NoSQL and the Jakarta data. So once you access any kind of open source project, uh, the most the best open source project got a good documentation as well. So from the documentation, you get start to understand how those things works. And in this project, we can find out specific sections, and we can understand how this project works, why this project it was created for. So what's the purpose of this project, and we also can find out information how to get started to contribute. So most of the projects got some information like that. So we could scroll down in
And
order to understand how this project works. I
yes,
think it's a good one. Am I right? And okay, once you find out, scroll down about everything, you will get start to take a look on that. So, getting help section. It's a session that is dedicated to give information for developers. So if you want to contribute with the project, we also can solve problems, but we also can report problems. And once you open an issue, or if you do some kind of these movements, you are contributing as well. Am I right? So sometimes you can get started from reporting some bug. Oh, looks like a method is working my computer, and looks like the problem is there. So you could do that thing. So here we got some information. For example, oh, if you want to report bugs, concern question, you also can take a look on this repository. Okay, this is the repository for issues. You could that refers to another sub projects. But okay, what I'm saying is it's dedicated. This information is dedicated to this project. This project is split into another sub models. It is the database project and extensions. So, but if you are facing some problems with which one, you could reach out and report bugs right here. Also, most of the projects telling you how to build the project, and it's another thing that you need to pay attention. If you want to contribute with code, you need to be able to build the project in your local machine. So right here, there are some information. For example, for this project, we should have Java 11 or higher version. So you need to be installed in your local machine, and it is a Java project, but also it's a Maven project. So should be Maven as well. And by executing this command, you will be able to see the project be built and so on. Okay, because during the building process, most phases of the build process will happen. For example, the test executions will happen, and you will see you'll be able to see if the code is executing as expected. So it's a good one, and this is a good section contributing. So we're here. JNoSQL got information, how to open an issue, because this is the way that we could contribute reporting bugs or asking for new features, or just suggest some improvements and so on. You can do this right here. And once you write your code in your fork project, you could open our pull request or PR, as we used to say PR. Okay, in order to open this one, submit it, to be to be allowed to maintainers to check out the code. Probably they will talking to you, giving advice if it's needed. And once your code is in good shape and looks good to them, probably it will be merged to the main the main branch and so on. So and right here, this project used to show some numbers. It's very interesting because you could figure out the quality of the code. So how many codes are in this project, about the coverage, about the duplicated line, reliability, quality gate, and so on. These projects are using sonar to qualify those things. So this is directed to the sonar. And as I said before, to open this site, you need to pay attention to guideline. And most of the developers, the projects offers many kind of guidelines. You could get have guidelines related to format of the code, or maybe talking to about the patterns he guarded the naming, methods name, class name, and so on. And also you can take a look on here. So if you want to take a look right here, feel free to navigate, to see the code, to understand what kind of tools are using during the process, and so on. So after to understand everything, or to understand how this works, you can get start to work on your machine. So I used to take a look on the issue tab in a project, because I'd like to see what's missing, what's needed to what kind of issue we could be working on. So we used to open right here, and we used to navigate. But that is a tip right here. Am I right, Gabriel?
Yes.
Because we could get started from from the beginners or for baby steps. So you want to work in the easiest task to get started. So why not to get started from the beginning? And we used to use a strategy that is annotate to mark issues as good first issues. So the developers, the maintainers used to to qualify the issues by this label, and we could navigate right here. For example, I want to work on a good first issue, and okay, oh, there is there are two issues that I could take a look and get started. So look there, it's related to documentation. So we could work on this if you want. Okay, if you want to work in another one, you can take a look at right or right here. Okay, so once you open an issue, the first thing that we need to pay attention is the description of the issue in order to understand what we need to do. Am I right? And
Yes.
don't be afraid to ask for clarification. Okay, it's very important. Think, if you are working in your company, you need to pay attention about these requirements, because without good requirements, how can you say if you've done the job? So you need to understand where it gets started and when it will be done. So if you are face some problem to understand the description, don't be afraid to asking, oh, how can I do this? Oh, could you help me a little bit about that? I didn't understand something like that. You can say that. Remember, it's a good opportunity to get communication skill working, and and you could get started to talking to a good experts, and it will be create a little relationship that it could be become a good relationship in the future, because it's very hard to get started to work hard and so on, especially in an open source project. Because I got an example that Bruno Souza said that if someone goes to your home and get it entered in your room, and suddenly this one get start to change everything in your home without your permission, or maybe without get a good relationship to you, what do you do? You get these people out of your home. Am I right? So this is the same in open source. You need to get start beginning little by little step, and because if you are comfortable to work in a hard thing, and the people on the project recognize you that you are able to work on it, they will listen you. So it's very important thing. Remember, it's a you are creating our trust image in the community. So I think it's very important to do that. For example, right here, it's an example right now. Oh, okay, this issue is related to a kind of change, it's a kind of upgrading, because the demos project sample, it's the both ones are repository that holds sample codes, and those ones are have been using an old structure of the dependencies. And based on this issue, the feature proposal is to upgrade them to use a single one snapshot version. So this is the question. But I realized that something's missing, and what I did, I asked it for more clarification, and right here I did this question for the maintainer, and maintainer was able to answer me in a good way, and based on that, I was able to contribute. And Gabriel and me, during those sessions, did we have many contributions, as we can see right here. Okay,
Yeah.
there are more that we need to can do in order to close up this issue, that we can do this in the next session, but because today I think uh, our proposal is to recap how to get started to contribute. Okay, Max, but once you contribute, how can we get started to contribute? So I will ask you, Gabriel. Gabriel, would you like to answer that? How can we get start to work on the
All right.
code?
Yes. I can try.
Sure, no,
I
no
I don't
worries. I'm
remember
here.
all
I'm
the
here to
steps.
help you, and you are here to help me. So we help you each other, and we will get success together.
I
Okay,
don't.
so get
Yes, perfect. I don't remember all the steps, but for you start the contribution in this project, more specific, do you need to create an account ECHA? It's very important. I
yeah.
don't know if you say about ECHA, I don't
No, I
hear.
didn't see. I didn't talk it yet. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
talked?
No, no, I didn't talk. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Well, okay. I can talk a little bit about that. So, uh, uh, many open source developers require some agreements to be assigned from developers, because it could be bring problems related to intellectual creations. Am I right? So sometimes it's needed to get saved, to get the project saved, to get the company saved, to get developers saved as well. And most of the agreements should be assigned to get started to contribute. For Eclipse Foundation projects, we should assign the ECHA It means Eclipse contribution agreement. So where is it, Max? Where is it? So let me open a PR.
Oh,
Okay, I open a PR, and we could see the checks. Okay, sorry, got it. Hold on. Okay, let me open this one. Okay, this is the one. Okay, it's a. Hold on, I'm opening an
Max, it's
issue.
another example. It's better. You can go in the code.
No, no,
If you
I could go there. I could take a look right here. For example,
because you
let
can
me
see
open
the
this one.
contributions.
Yeah, if you take a look right here, there is a details right here, and we can see this one. This bot, this bot is responsible to check if my account have if me if myself if I did if I assigned the agreements. Okay, so if you want to take a look on here, I should I should to to open this one. I should be have an account in the Eclipse Foundation, and I need to assign ECA. This is the ECA, Eclipse Contributor Agreement, and I should fill out the form. So you could go here and click on assign one, and I already did this assignment, but you should assign that thing markup that you are agree with the conditions. You should put your information and so on. And once you assign it, that you are able to be uh, a contributor in an Eclipse project, Eclipse Foundation project. So it covers any kind of Eclipse Foundation project, okay, open source project. So once you got it, you could get started to work to contribute on there. Okay, this is a specific one for Eclipse Foundation projects. So um, I think there is the same one for another projects. I don't know
I,
right
I
now.
think have it. I think have a same
I
thing
think
in
I
another
think
project.
it's true. I think there is another one, but there are another other ones that we should assign to get started to contribute, because you could contribute as individual contributor and also with company employee contributor. It's because sometimes companies wants to put developers to work on a specific project. It's common to get that as well. Some companies used to do that. But for me right now, I'm an individual one, so I'm contribute by myself. So it's just I need to say where I'm working on and so on, because I need to be how can I say, I need to be honest about myself. It's very important. Okay. Okay,
Perfect.
that's it. So
And
once we assign it, that we are
yes,
able to open a PR
and
and get started to. Oh God, what I did.
you close the.
No worries, no worries. I open again. I open again. No worries.
And
So I
I
can.
think that another steps to starting the project, starting the contribution this project is a creating a fork. If you create a fork, you can open any PRs to
Yeah,
fix or how can I say create the solutions to any problems.
yeah, yeah. You can do this. We can do this by clicking right here. Okay. Well, by myself,
Don't
I
forget,
already
give me
did
a
this
start
one.
this project.
Sorry. Oh yeah, don't
Give
forget it.
star.
Don't forget
Give
it.
star.
Don't forget it. Don't forget to start this one. Okay, so you can click right here. Well, I already did this one, but I could I got some organizations right here that I'm working on. I could create another fork and so on. I can create in my local repository. I could do this, and once I get the fork, I can work by myself in my local machine. It's very interesting. I used to do that because um, it's easier to keep those things synchronized. Am I right? But it's not mandatory. You could check out the project. You could check out the project in your local machine. You work it right there, and after that you could push up, open a PR based on a new branch because this project used something like that. So you I used to follow the same path. I used to check out the project, create a niche, a branch, and working on a branch. And when I done the work, I open a PR based on a branch. I push up the code to my fork, and from my fork, I open a PR. We used to do that on our sessions. So pay attention next sessions to see how we can do this in our live code. Am I right? So once we do that, we can work on a in a easiest way. So let's suppose that I want to work something right here. The first thing that I used to do is to synchronize my fork. For example, my fork right here is behind the last comment of the original repository, as we can see. So if I want to get started to work, in order to avoid conflicts, we should synchronize. So let's synchronize right here. It's very easy to do. So once you do that, okay, you are updated by now, and we can work from here. Okay. So once we can work right here, I could check out the project using SSL or GitHub CLI or something like that in my local machine, open my ID and working from there and so on. So another thing that we should know is we need to learn how to work with Git, how to work with both ones. At least we should use that in order to downgrade to pull down and push up the code in your local machine. So it's another requirement that we used to do. So if you want to understand more about that, see you in our next session. We'll do that in our live. Am I right, Gabriel?
Yes, you are right,
Okay.
Max. And
Okay,
in my
great.
opinion, uh, one thing I will hide your screen and show my screen
Sure.
and about the contributions in the project open source. And this is a project I share with the audience the link. But I
Please,
will
please, could you increase the letter, please? I can't
uh,
see anything. I'm an old one. My vision is not so good like you.
and now it's better.
Yeah, it's better.
All right, perfect. And I think more cool in my opinion, uh, is just show your name here in the contributions in the project open source.
Oh, it's great.
And if you verify the contributions, you can find Otávio, Max, Elias, Daniel, Vinicius, Orlan, and me. I am here. I don't make a lot things, but my name is here. I am a contribution. I am 12 the persons in the make commits here.
You're the committer. You're
Yeah,
the 12, 12th committer in this project.
in this project.
Congratulations, Gabriel. Congratulations.
And this is very, very cool in my opinion. Like, how can I say? You working with great persons in the market around the world, and this is I share my feelings with yours. This is so amazing. Like working with these big names, like a shark, Shark Tank. It's a very amazing, like you, baby shark.
Oh my God! Don't start to sing that music because my kids use it to sing that baby shark. No, no, don't say that. So
Baby
let
shark.
me say hello to Channel. Channel is on the chat. So Channel,
Hello,
hi,
channel.
welcome to this session. Congratulations, Gabriel. Look, channel.
Thank you.
Congratulations, you. Yeah, yeah. Yes, that's it, guys. I think that we done for today. Okay, because we we intend to today to recap how to get started to contribute. So we navigate through JNoSQL repository and based on these tips that we used that we put in our session today, we're talking about how to get started, why we should get started to contribute, how can we get started to contribute, should I contribute by code only? No, you could get started talking about your project. You could get create content about your preference, your favorite open source project, and because you also helping the project, you could improve your skills, your communication skills, because you need to talking to the developers, to maintainers. About the issues that you are want to working on. You learn more strategy,
Excellent.
about best approaches and so on. Am I right, Gabriel? Let
Yes.
help me to if I miss something. Also, you could create a portfolio, so it will help you to maybe to prove your to anyone that you are able to work with the technology, because you how if you are able to contribute with an open source project, you know how to follow process, how to communicate to the people, how to work with the code, with a code with good quality. So I think we will create a good market image, so you could create trust in your community, in your company, in your social media, so you could do many things with open source, and using those things you boosting your career probably. And I hope that it will help you to get started to contribute. Gabriel, you want to add something more?
No, you say into all things we talking today, and how can I say, guys, starting to work in the project open source, it's very amazing. Like think about one thing. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. No, no, no. I forgot something myself. I will add in the end. Go
All
ahead,
right,
please.
perfect. Think one example. We work in Jakarta, JNoSQL today, but in future not so far, the companies using this project open source to make connections with NoSQL databases. And think it's so amazing. Like you can say, "Oh, I work in this project. You using this today because I work in this." And this, how can I say, my feeling the work in this project in the future not so far I say that my team, my squad. Oh, I work in this project. Like I build in this.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And also, okay, I forgot to, I missed something because, okay, I could contribute to an existent open source. I'm just saying about existent open source. But have you think about to create an open source project by yourself? It's another kind of way to get started to work in an open source project.
It's another
For
word.
example, yeah, and for example, in my I have been open an open source project, and I'm holding that thing in a So Java organization. It's called Pawn Editor Maybe plugin. It's a Maybe plugin that I created in order to help developers to work with dependencies in it projects in a easiest way instead of to open XML and copy and paste the structure and so on in a manual way. I create that thing in order to help, but it was a necessity that I thought to myself, oh, it's something that don't exist in my even by now. Why not to create one? And why not to create an open source project? So if you want to learn more about that, feel free to reach out our project. So I will share the screen. I will share the link, Gabriel, and just share in the chat. Okay. Okay, I
All
will
right.
open right here. This
I
one
share. I
is
show
an
you
open
screen.
source project that I started a few months ago, and we already have two contributors. They are our friends, and we this one also have issues, so you can get started from here. For example, there are two for good first issues to work on. So feel free to reach out this one. So Gabriel, I will send you the link on WhatsApp because such one doesn't work.
I
Just
get here.
mention. Yeah, yeah.
I sure seen the So Java
Oh, really? Okay,
for
great.
them
If you are
again.
ready,
I'm more fast.
oh, okay, got it. Okay, that's the reason why I like to work with you because you are so uh, uh, um, proactive one. So that's it, guys. So I think it's done for today. I'd like to. Oh, yeah, you are bringing. Okay, I'd like to thank you everyone on that watching us. So don't forget to subscribe our channel. Click on the sign button to be notified in the next sessions. Don't forget to to take our Twitter handle and follow us in Twitter. And feel free to talk to us. And see you next time. Am I right, Gabriel?
You're right, Max. And I see
Okay.
you guys next time. High five.
Bye bye. Oh, I need to work on that better. Okay. So
Okay.
hold on. Hold.
Yes.
Bye bye, guys.
Bye bye, guys.
Oh my God.